Doom Eternal has been announced, and now we have seen the gameplay for it. The next installment in Doom, obviously. You could call it Doom 2, but to be more precise, it would be Doom 5 when counting all the other games. So, Z-Man said his words, Rawcard said his words, Justin said his words, and I don't know, I think Psycho Knight did, but I figured I'll just have my say now in this. So, I just figured I'm going to go in the same pattern that the actual Quakecon event went. So, I'm going to start off with Doom Guy himself. What do I think of him? I think he looks cool. He's not a dramatic departure. He's still, there's still kind of this continuity feeling to his design. If you remember, in Doom 2016, he had this full suit of you know, a military green, it was the Praetor suit, that's what it was called, the Praetor suit. You know, he had this full suit of armor going. And when you look at him now for Doom Eternal, his arms are showing up top, and some of his armor, where it used to be green, there's now almost, it almost looks like it was almost like a dirty brown, like a leather, almost. This brown, rough, rusty-looking padding with these bolts coming out. He's got that with his left arm and his legs, his lower legs. So it kind of gives off this patchwork look to his design. But the real stunning elements to his new outfit, or this modified version of the Praetor suit, is not only the shoulder-mounted gun that I believe shoots explosives, and it's a flamethrower as well. Not only that, but he also has the wrist blade, which is going to come into serious effect with gameplay, or at least what you see in the gameplay. So, next up we've got weapons. Boy, do I love the weapons that they have revealed for Doom Eternal. Let's start off with the acclaimed Excalibur of Doom Guy, which is the Super Shotgun, my favorite weapon. Not only has it been improved in design, but there is now a special tool attached to it, which is called the meat hook. And what you do with this thing is you launch this harpoon-type weapon into an enemy, into a demon, and then it pulls you to the demon. And it's amazing, because the way they've portrayed it in-game, it's like a grappling hook, basically. A violent killer grappling hook, which just adds to that mobility in Doom. I remember when I first started playing Doom, I was kind of surprised to find there was no sprinting mechanic. So this should definitely help with it. In addition to the mobility, they've also added a sort of dodge and dash system where you can do that side to side or back and forward, which again really adds to the mobility. What else do we got for weapons? Okay, so we've got a crossbow called the Ballista, and again I think it looks absolutely amazing. However, when I saw it in gameplay, something kind of perked up my ears. So this thing it's a sharpshooting, heavy damage bolt type gun. But then you use this sort of mod to it where it charges up and releases like a heavy explosive blast. And that to me just seems very familiar to the Gauss cannon that we already have. So I'm just speculating here, nothing's confirmed here, just speculating, but maybe the Ballista will be a replacement for the Gauss cannon. It's possible. I don't know, but it's possible. The plasma rifle is coming back, but now it's coming back with the classic design. It no longer has that kind of basic Nerf gun look to it anymore. It has like this heavy built, The industrial has like the bronze rims around it, just like the classic one, and it sounds a lot better too. It doesn't really sound like a bubble gun anymore. Shotgun's back, basic shotgun. Haven't really seen anything crazy with it. At least I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's still just a shotgun. I know they had a gun with like a spinning shell barrel during the gameplay. I don't know, maybe that was the shotgun? I'm not sure. But for me, the most beautiful gun that they've showed off thus far is the new rocket launcher. This thing, gorgeous in appearance. Holy shit. So, they've got like this sleek black ebony design to it. Not in a way that, you know, you would think humans would design a weapon. It's got this sleek but industrial fit to it. It has like this metal skull on the side. The thing with Doom's art style is it's a cross between human industrial and, you know, demonic shrines and all that. So when you cross those things together, like this gun, this new rocket launcher is the perfect mesh. It almost looks like the static rifle has some elements in there when you look at the energy inside the rocket launcher. So yeah, nice weapons, really nice. Now let's get to the literal meat of this this video here. The demons. Let's start off with the possessed humans. We have the possessed humans, the basic ones. Just your average guys, you know. They look basically like shirtless zombies. That's about it, really. They have almost like a Frankenstein-y cartoon-ish facial expression of them. It's kind of funny, though, because you see them emote as you glory kill them, which just adds to the insanity of it all. But then you have the possessed soldiers making a return, but they no longer have the design from Doom 2016. It seems that this is another callback to the older games with like the human face and the green hair, and you know that's all back. They've got the shotgun too. Then we have the imp. So what they've basically done with the imp here is they've taken the imp from 2016, they've darkened the skin to be brown, given it red eyes, and then increased the spikes on its back. So it's the same imp, but it's been, you know, kind of evolved more into the classic style of imp from the classic games. What next? Okay, so we have a new demon species, kind of like this winged harpy type creature. It kind of looks a bit like an imp, a bit more animalistic though. It's got almost these spikes for claws. It's got wings and just this strange looking snout on it. Overall, it very much reminds me of is it called Scyther? It's a Pokemon. It's like a mantis Pokemon. I think it's called Scyther. Is that right? Someone correct me. Yeah, I think it's Scyther. Anyway, so that's an interesting one. I'm glad to know we're getting more flying enemies, because that's something I definitely wanted that. Pain Elementals. They're coming finally. From Doom 2 to Doom 2, really. Pain Elementals. I love the designs for these guys. They've got like 40 jaws on their face. I love the way they kind of just... They almost like jog through the air as they're coming towards you. In a way, you could almost call them the Cacodemon Mark II. They're supposed to puke up the Lost Souls, and I'm pretty sure they do that. I didn't really spot the Lost Souls during the gameplay, but apparently a couple other people did. So, I really like the Pain Elementals in this one. What next? Pinkies are the same. And you know what? I thought the Pinkies were fine. I don't think they needed any major changes. I think the Pinkies, they're good as they are. You know, if it ain't fixed, or if it ain't broken, don't fix it, I think. Is that the saying? I think that's the saying. Same goes with the Cacodemon, except now that it actually has blue insides, like the original games. Hell Knight's back. Not too many differences. Its skin has gone from a deep brown to more of a pale blue-gray now, which is an interesting choice. Its skull's a tad different too. It's a lot closer to the Doom 3 style, which is nice. Going back to basics. The Mancubus, completely redesigned. Completely. I don't really like it, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of it. And here's the thing. From what I've heard, not too many people were happy with the 2016 design of the Mancubus. Now, knowing that people enjoy the classics, they enjoy the traditional designs, I can understand their frustration with that. I'm not a longtime Doom fan. I played starting with the 2016 game, so I was introduced to the Mancubus as they were then. But looking back at the classic design for the Mancubus, I just think the 2016 version is a lot more interesting. It's got this chitinous armor, this one green eye, and almost a mouth that looks like the Sarlacc pit from Star Wars. I just think it's a lot more interesting than a fat dude with gun hands and an angry face, which is basically the classic design. Oh, okay, well it has 6 nipples, which is pretty interesting, I'll give you that. That's kind of cool. But yeah, they're bringing back that one. I don't know, it's kind of jarring. But then again, people must have thought the 2016 version was jarring. So, you know what, it's a win for them. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm going to have to wait and see if it grows on me. But for now, I'm going to miss the 2016 Mancubus. What else? Revenant, I haven't seen too much of the Revenant, so I can't really comment. Revenant. Okay, so we got the Revenant, Soldiers. Hellraiser doesn't seem to be anywhere in sight. I don't know what happened to that. It was a new addition in 2016, and it was a demon sniper, and they seem to not be showing anything of it. I want it. I like it. In fact, I want them to improve on it, so it's kind of sad not to see it, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's going to make a return. They didn't show any Cyber Demon either, but again, we've already fought one. I'm hoping that maybe they'll have like a bunch of natural Balgar demons in this game, hopefully, but I don't know. I don't want them to change the design, to be honest. I like this new Cyber Demon. I think it's a lot more interesting than just a giant minotaur with a gun hand, basically. What else? Oh, Baron of Hell. Holy moly, the Baron of Hell. So, here's the funny thing. So many of these demon designs, if not most of them, they're going back to their original styles. They're going back to the classic, to the traditional designs. But then, you look at the Baron of Hell, and it just seems to be going astray into this whole new demon. It's got these fire blades coming out of its wrists. Almost like this, I don't know, I want to say Wolverine, but that's just not really, it kind of gives off the wrong impression. Instead of the red, these Barons of Hell now, they seem to be like just ash, they're all smoky color with glowing fire inside them. Which again, is funny that they're straying from the traditional Baron, yet all the other demons are going back to traditional. Which, again, that's just utterly bizarre. Not complaining, I like this new Baron, but it's strange. I'm thinking maybe this is going to be not the Baron, but a variation of the Baron. Kind of like how in 2016 we had the Mancubus and the Cybermank. So maybe it's something like that. And I almost forgot, we're getting Arachnotrons. In other words, miniaturized versions of the Spider Mastermind final boss from the previous game. And they're pretty cool. Swap out the red eyes with blue ones, shrink it down, and give it a gun on its back instead of underneath. And there you have your Arachnotron. I like it. I think it's cool. So those are our demons right there. Oh, no, wait, I forgot the biggest one of them all. Figuratively speaking, of course, or metaphorically, or however you say it. Not the literal biggest, but the big beholder. Archvile, or Archvile, however you say it. I love this guy. So, this guy's notorious for not only being super powerful, but raising demons from the dead. In Doom 2016, we had the Summoner, which is basically a female imp that kind of just spawned in more enemies as she teleported around the map. Or around the room, that is. And that was supposed to be the substitute for the Archvile. This time around, though, it seems that they've scrapped her and brought back, the Archvile in its rightful place. And I gotta say, I just love the look of this guy. Tall, thin, big claws. He's got, chitinous armor on him. He's got this, tall, extraterrestrial-looking head. It almost reminds me of the Fallen from Transformers 2. Just this really kick-ass looking design at the end of the gameplay. Oh, just gorgeous. Right before he gets hacked down by a sword similar to the Crucible at the end of 2016's Doom. Yeah, I guess I forgot to mention that in the weapons part. But there it is, yeah. We're getting melee. So, what's next? We got the locations. So, Earth. Boy, Earth is healthy. Giant tentacles coming out of the ground. Massive tumorous cysts of flesh grown out of buildings. Sky is just covered in cloud and fire. Streets filled with lava. Argent thunder all over the place. Yeah, nice day on Earth. Keep the planet green, or red in this case. So that's Earth. At least from what we saw, that's all of Earth thus far. We got to see Phobos. Again, big base. Gigantic BFG, Big Friendly Giant. Firing away out into the sky to something we don't see. This is the BFG 10,000 instead of 9,000. So big friendly giant. This thing's blasting off into space. So I'm thinking this thing is a giant gun shooting out into space, and there's tentacles on Earth. Maybe we have some kind of eldritch Lovecraftian abomination invading. Who knows? That's kind of just my thought thus far. So, we get to see more of the same playthrough, but we get this awesome cutscene where Doom Guy is kind of just walking through the base, and all the people who just see him quickly jump out of the way out of fear, because they've heard the stories, I bet. But yeah, great scene, hilarious. We also get this really funny propaganda, more of that UAC stuff, like, let the demons in and welcome them home, or whatever. Kind of cheesy, but I still think it's pretty funny. I think it's kind of funny. There's a little bit of a jab at today's PC mumbo jumbo, but whatever. It's a video game, Not to mention, it's a game where you rip demons apart. There's going to be some edge in it. Anyway, I digress. Locations. So, Earth, Phobos, and while we didn't get to see gameplay of Hell, holy shit, the concept art just made my jaw drop down into hell. So, here's the thing, alright? JMX 5000, or as he's known as on YouTube as Justin. He and I have been talking about Hell. or at least Doom's hell. He expressed to me how he didn't really enjoy hell being a bunch of, like, stone and sand temples, essentially. You know, everything was kind of just crumbling, deserty ruins. And to him, that just didn't feel like hell being brought all the way. He told me that, to him, hell needs to be this insane, dark, badass, just this crazy, chaotic, evil look to it. That's hell to him. Now, I didn't exactly understand what he meant at first, but when it got to more specifics, it turns out that what Justin meant by that is kind of like Mordor architecture for anyone who knows about Lord of the Rings, which it would be most people. So Lord of the Rings, you know, anyone who's seen Mordor and all, like, the black spiky metal architecture, that's how he thinks of hell. So as soon as I saw the concept art for hell in this next Doom game, I was like, that is what Justin wants. That is hell for him. And you know what? I like this new hell. Not only have we seen hell, but there's some implications that we're going to see other locations as well that we haven't seen before. There's this really interesting piece of concept art. It's like this ivory white room with red circuitry and gold ornaments. So it's this really interesting, almost demonic, heavenly looking environment. And there's some kind of, like, demon priest in the corner of this concept art piece. And when I saw that, I figured, what if that's like the demonic speaker who monologues during, or narrates during Doom 2016's story? You know, I thought maybe that's what that is. So, really interesting. And, you know, as they were showing the new environments for this new Gothic-themed hell, they talked about how they wanted to make a Doom universe, which I think is cool. I just think they gotta make sure to keep it out of the way of the gameplay, because Doom was actually praised for that in 2016, for having a rich story, but making that optional and pushed to the side. So, they gotta be careful and make sure that these things don't clash together with this next game, because they want to make a Doom universe, is what they say. So, good job, but be careful with that stuff. Okay. Locations. So we've covered the Doom guy himself, weapons, demons, and locations. Before I end this video, it's time to address the elephant in the room. Or more to keep in theme, let's address the Spinky in the room here. So, Snapmap is not coming back. How do I feel about this? Or, you know what, better off, let's just think. How does the rest of the people feel about this? Kind of divided, it seems. From what I've seen, it seems like a divisive thing. A lot of people are really disappointed with the lack of return of Snapmap. Some people are just refusing to even get the new Doom because Snapmap's not in it. Others, they understand that, it's not coming back and whatever. They don't care. So what do I think of it? Honestly, it's kind of both sides for me. I'm kind of in between. Because on one hand, I would love to create these new snap maps with, the Art Vial, Pain Elemental, these new winged harpy demon things, not to mention all these crazy weapons. I would love to create snap maps with all the possible tools at hand. But then, on the other hand, I'm already working on snap maps here in Doom 2016. I'm already working on things, so if the next Doom comes out with a new snap map system, then that just makes everything we've been working on obsolete at that point. It just gets left behind, really. So then it kind of says, what's the point in currently working on Snapmap if we're just going to migrate to the next game and make Snapmaps there? Unless they had a system that transferred maps, which was kind of my desire. You know, in my mind, if they were going to bring Snapmap back, then they should at least bring a transferring system so our old maps can, you know, come to the next game. At least in my mind, that's what I wanted. But, you know, before any of the game, long before the gameplay was revealed for this, I expressed my my belief that they weren't going to bring it back. I mean, you know, Snapmap is pretty much a derelict wasteland, and all of us Snapmappers still here. We're kind of just scavenging up the junk and making art pieces out of it. That's basically what we are. You know, we're kind of forsaken, really, and that's about it. So yeah, and even if they did bring Snapmap back, who's to say the past isn't just going to repeat itself and it becomes derelict once again? Who's to say that's not going to happen? So, and you know what? I had another thought, and it's, why not just have Snapmap as independent from the other games? Just have a Doom Snapmap on its own. And then you could just add some updates to it afterwards. You know? But then again, on the other hand, as cool as that would be, that would be kind of a financial issue for Bethesda, which I also think is part of the reason why they're not bringing back Snapmap. Also, because they want to focus more on story elements now. They say they want to bring in story DLC, which, alright, I'm all for, but it doesn't sound too nice when you say you want to replace an implemented part of the game with stuff you just have to pay even more for. I mean, here in Canada, I gotta pay $80 for a AAA game. For your average game that you pre-order at the store, here in Canada, you gotta pay $80 for that. So, you know, I'm always on edge when I'm looking at these new releases. Alright, so yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the whole Snapmap debacle. I know there's a petition going on to bring Snapmap into Doom Eternal. I didn't sign the petition. I considered it, but honestly, I would go either way. Either it has Snapmap or it doesn't. You know, I'm a bit disappointed it doesn't, but at the same time, I'm quite comfortable knowing that I can just continue making the maps I currently have at the works. It's kind of relieving to know that I'm not going to have to remake Garrock's Pantheon and Spinky Spammer, Pinky Wrangler. You know, I'm not going to have to remake all of them all over again. So, that kind of just asks the question. How is the future of Snapmap going to be now? Well, here's what I think is going to happen. I think the bulk of the Snapmap community is gonna leave Snapmap and go to Doom Eternal. We're all gonna go to the Doom Eternal. We're all gonna relish in the campaign and all the extra content that it has. We're gonna play Doom Eternal. We're gonna leave Doom 2016 behind. But then once the rush is gone, once the crazy, you know, we've played all the story elements, we found the secrets, we played the nightmare mode. Once we've done all that, then I think, you know, Snapmappers are going to start returning to Doom 2016 to finish their works or create some new ones. I don't think it's going to be it's not prosperous now, but we're going to have less people picking up the pieces, you know. So, as sad as it is, I think the Snapmap community is just going to be a bit more derelict than it already is. I think it's still going to be alive. It's just going to go through a phase of silence. And then people are going to start coming back Just because now we have 2 Doom games that people are playing. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the upcoming Doom Eternal. I cannot wait to play it. And while not everything's perfect with it, it's sad to see Snapmap go, I look forward to the game. This is Count Lazuli, and I am out.